This is Earth Day, April 27, 2025. And Christine, where are you going right now?
This is called the Chinese Temple.
Okay, let me just. Okay, hold on. Let me just scan.
Chinese Park here in Cambria, California.
They rebuilt it?
They rebuilt this Chinese temple.
Chinese temple.
Because we had a Chinese population here, working and living here in Cambria.
Oh, wow.
And so they rebuilt this. I don't know if you can see it. It's sort of dark.
Yeah.
Can you see it?
Uh-huh. Wow, this is beautiful. I love the colors.
Yeah, they rebuilt it and repainted
Just let me
it.
know if you have any questions about the temple.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Thank you. So they rebuilt it, repainted it.
And then they brought in artifacts from that they found in this little part of the town, and put them in here so everybody can see them. So they had a tiny Chinese temple here. This is it, and they had other buildings around in the area that we're on at the Earth Fair.
Oh, okay. So there's other buildings here?
Yeah, you can ask this man. He knows about it.
Okay. Sir.
Yeah.
What is this Chinese temple?
I grew up here, so
This is a building that was maintained by Chinese working and living in Cambria end of the 19th and early 20th century.
Okay.
And it survived because it was attached to a Cambria ranch house for many decades. When that house was demolished, GreenSpace took this building and moved it and restored it.
Wow.
So it's an association house. It was a Taoist temple. Probably some mahjong was played here and some opium was smoked too, you know. But it was a place for people far away from home.
Oh, I see. They found themselves not China, but here.
Well, and it was, you know, there were lots of racial and political problems back then.
Right.
But it was a place where people could feel like themselves and roast a pig for New Year's Day and have a party. It was a friendly place.
Okay, beautiful.
So what did the Chinese do here in particular in Cambria?
It changed over time. People came for the gold rush, and then there was railroad work in the 1860s, but mainly in Cambria it was 1870s and after. Like there were Chinese cooks at the Hearst Ranch before the younger Hearst had it. There was seaweed harvesting, there was abalone, there was cinnabar up on Santa Rosa Creek Road. They worked in the mercury mines, and but you know, all kinds of labor. They out in the railroads, of course.
But the railroads are more inland, near the Western Great.
That's true. So different locations, but at the height there were maybe about 200 Chinese here,
So
and mainly
where did
men.
they go?
Pardon?
Where did they go?
Different places.
They left.
They left. A lot of them went back to China, and they sowed. Most people did not get buried here. There was an agency in San Francisco that sent Chinese bones back to the mainland to be buried because the Chinese didn't want to be buried here.
Wow.
And until maybe World War II, Chinese couldn't be buried in the local cemetery. And that's been addressed and atoned for, you know, more recently.
That's so interesting because we have a small little cemetery up on the hill.
That's right.
So none of them are buried there.
A few are. There's one area that there, like I said, there's several changes made a little bit later.
Yeah.
But one historian says that they're the most legislated against people in American history. There were laws against kite flying.
Wow.
Right? You know, I mean, the Yellow Peril was, of course, all part of Hearst and how he sold newspapers.
Yeah.
So it's a checkered history.
I would say so.
And here in Cambria, we had both people who were helpful and who welcomed the Chinese and let them build on their property.
Yeah.
We also had racially motivated beatings and you know, trials about abalone harvesting. And when you go through old newspaper clippings, it's amazing to see what happened.
But the abalone harvesting was more south in Cayucos, isn't that correct?
But they had it here as well.
They had it here.
And there were also Japanese. There was a Japanese-run abalone plant in Cayucos a little bit later.
Yeah.
But there were limits to how much you could take, and the Chinese were hard workers and very efficient. So they would get busted, you know, for harvesting too much abalone.
Wow.
Yeah.
So none of them or their relatives are here anymore?
The last family, there was a family named Wong that was out by the coast harvesting seaweed till about the 1960s. And his sons went to the high school and sometimes would come to the reunions.
Really?
But most left the area around 1920.
This is so interesting. I'm glad we stopped by.
Yeah.
A little piece of history, right?
You got a lot of
I had my second
information.
cup of coffee. I'm doing pretty well.
You're doing awesome. You're
I
doing
was like
great.
maybe 90% accurate there, too. No.
What is your name?
My name is John Seed, S-E-E-D.
Thank you, John C. This is wonderful. I learned quite a bit.
That was a lot.
Right?
I
Former
never
teacher.
see it open.
Former teacher. Don't
Oh,
get me
there
Oh, there it is.
If it was in the wrong, you'd be here an hour, you'd be like looking at your watch. I'm not going to do that to you.
No, this is great.
It's all part of GreenSpace. It's the only historic building that GreenSpace has. Because mainly GreenSpace is land preservation and education, but one building.
One building, this is it.
He retired when I got started about 7 years ago, but he's in town. He's doing great.
I haven't seen him in a long time. Oh,
He's being
we're
quiet.
just talking about.
Yeah. Rick Hawley was one of the co-founders of GreenSpace,
Yes,
coming
I
out of
remember.
construction and then into
I remember.
our
He's so
members.
nice.
Right on. Well, thank you very much, both of you.
Thank you for being
Happy Earth Day.
Happy Earth Day.
Happy Earth Day to you. Yeah.
Bye.